Well, the gameplay journey now begins. On the second channel, we are going to upload gameplay probably on a borderline daily basis here. Today, though, we're going to talk about my initial tips, which we're going to get to here in a little bit. Most tips videos will be on my main channel. My second channel right now, I want to make this video because I'm still not 100% convinced with my tips because obviously we're still 2 days in. I'm not going to be like, oh my God, these tips will instantly improve and give you fucking rank 1 finishes like you see these titles all around YouTube and stuff. We've had the game for 24 hours. How does anybody know immediately what's the meta, what's the best shit in the game? You don't. You're just playing the YouTube game, which is understandable. But okay, I also have a question for you all, and that is, on this channel, would you rather see, when I make gameplay videos, the editing be similar to what you see on other gameplay channels where it's just the highlights, so I can like run the foot markets, gameplay videos, you know, Ozio's out there, right? They're all very similar to each other. Would you rather see that, or would you rather see a little more edited version of that in terms of I play 5 to 10 games, you only see the goals scored and conceded, and would you rather it be more edited and more games, or have it be kind of like the full experience of watching a match play out? Does that make sense? Not obviously the whole match, but condensed how you would see it on a normal channel, or have more games in and more goals in also. I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys. Say 3 games, but more highlights in those games, or 6, 7, 8 games, but only showing you the goals and the goals conceded, right? I feel like that might be a little bit better of a move, but obviously, let me know what you think about that. But anyway, we're going to get into this today, and the first couple tips I want to give you guys are tips that I've gathered really in the last like few hour session here today. And a lot of it's in custom tactics, because I want to start with that. We'll get to the team in a sec, but custom tactics right now, the first thing I want to say here is that these are going to be, to me this year, obviously, we have not really found the best ones yet in terms of what's the most meta. I think once we find that, this might change. This is just a couple days in, of course. But as of right now, this is going to be very important to how you play and like not really what people tell you to do. Almost every tactic I've tried from other people has kind of been shit. I haven't really enjoyed it. And then my own tactics that I make, I've almost all enjoyed more. And this is my best one I've made so far, in my opinion. That's my 4-3-3 attack. And it's like this. These are the roles without ball, and then with ball looks like that. It's really a similar 4-3-3-4, just Karchawi's kind of more of a wing back, right? It's very easy. Counter as well is very important here. You'll see in this clip that having counter on has changed my attack quite a bit. It does make it a bit faster. This game is very slow. It does feel a bit sluggish at times, and a bit might be an understatement. It feels like eFootball. It feels like I'm playing PES 2021 or something like that with better animations. But I would say putting counter on, I would try that and see if that really does improve the pace of your gameplay, because I feel like that's a struggle for many people right now, is just the pace, and like I can't play as fast as I want to. Counter helps with that. It won't change your life, I don't think, at least not that I've noticed yet, but it will help you play a bit faster. And for player roles now, obviously this is very up to you and what you've liked so far, but I will say in my 4-3-3-4, the inside forward has been by far the best for the wingers. They actually cut inside now. I used them on, I think it was winger before, because Endrick had winger plus, and I wanted to try that, and they stay very, very wide, so I didn't really like that as much. Inside forward, they just cut in a lot, and I think that's more of kind of what we're used to as FIFA players. So I would say inside forward for me has been the best one for all wingers out there. I would definitely try to use that. Also at striker, I don't notice the difference between poacher and advanced forward that much. Poacher, they really try and get in behind runs a lot. Advanced forward, they do the same thing, but maybe they slightly help in a build-up slightly more often. It's not that much different to me so far. I've used Solskjaer for probably, what, 20 games, and Isak for 10, 15 games, who has advanced forward plus, and I haven't noticed that much of a difference. But I will say, to give EA credit here, when you change a player's role, it's a noticeable difference. Like, their instructions clearly are doing a lot. Last year and the years before that, when this tactic system was the way it was, instructions, sometimes you change one and you didn't really notice much of a difference. This year, you change an instruction or a role, you are going to notice a difference immediately when you play. And Kunku with Shadow Striker for my cam, I've liked that the most so far. Stopper and Defender, I will say, having those two mixed together can sometimes leave gaps a little bit, but because she has plus and crazy stats right now, Laura Jean, I want to like take advantage of that, because Stopper, if you don't know what it does, it basically makes the center back more aggressive to intercept passes and kind of stay further forward a little bit. But anyway, the roles mainly I want to tell you in this video, inside forward I think is a really good role for the wingers. Striker, I'd have poacher, advanced forward, and then one of your fullbacks to me should be attacking. I still think once again it's the same thing, either false back or attacking wing back. I think you should have one fullback attacking for sure. Other than that, it's kind of like all I gotta say about that. And then when it comes to other tactics, you 1,000,000% need to have multiple tactics set. You need to have one that's like your standard custom tactic that you are going to use for most of the game. You need to have a tactic that is going to close the game out. This is mine, 4-1-2-2 narrow, counter, balance, my depth's at like 50. You have to have a setup to close the game out because automatically it will give the other team suggestions if they're losing to switch to something else. And you pretty much every time you're winning, they are going to switch to a constant press type mega attacking formation that if you're sitting here in a 4-3-4 in the 85th minute in a 4-3 game, you are trolling. You have got to switch it. You don't have a choice this year. Some years you can get away with it. It's not as big of a deal. This year with all the tactics changes, you have got to change your formation when you are winning, losing, whatever the circumstance may be. You got to change it up when you want to put the game to bed or chase it or whatever. You got to change it. Also, what I want to say is that Trivellas are beyond back. Okay, I was playing a game earlier. You can see the clips here that I heard rumors that Trivella was very good again. Trivella Plus and kind of all players with a Trivella playstyle, you can take them from outside the box again, and they're still very good. I just conceded every Trivella this one game, and I'm like, okay, well, this clearly is possibly even better than FC24 was. And I played one game like after that game with my Luka Modric and scored a Trivella immediately. So just be aware that Trivella Plus right now, people will figure that out. That is extremely good, and try and defend Trivellas. If you're playing somebody who's like, you can see they're trying to do Trivellas, make sure you're defending them as best as you can because they are going to go in. And maybe that changes when the keepers get better. But right now, Trivellas are flying in. Next tip is that pace to me is mattering a ton. It matters a lot. I mean, it matters every year to a certain extent, but this year especially, I have Rapid Plus with Doku doing the L1 speed boost, which I can make a video on another time of how to do the L1 speed boost. It's very easy. He has 13 assists in 19 games simply because of the fact that he has Rapid Plus and then he like cuts it across, cuts it back, or cuts it across 6-yard box because he's just that fast. I would highly recommend getting a card like Doku in your team. He also has Trickster, which if you guys don't know, there's new Trickster fake shots that are very good. We talked about that in my daily video today actually, and there's a clip of it. It's very good. So Trickster as well is very good. Doku is my favorite player so far this year in my opinion. I know he's 80 rated, his shooting isn't very good, but he's still probably my favorite player I've used this year because he actually feels very good on the ball. Not many players do. I'd argue that Nkunku, Silva, and Doku are the ones that feel the best on the ball so far I've used this year. Korchawi's up there I guess too, but any player with just decent dribbling that's not crazy, like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is 84, but I don't have anything up on it. It's 80 agility, 75 balance. That is just, you have to expect to not be able to dribble with him. I mean, you're not going to be able to left stick with him very well. So once again, you just got to play around that a little bit. And also shooting does seem to be better this year. Finesse shot plus is flying in. The shot velocity seems to be higher, which is very nice. Like Doku has good finishing, and Doku has 77 finishing for me. And I'd put a hunter on him if I could. I just didn't have the coins at the time, which I'm probably going to now because I have like 50k again. But he actually has good finishing, which I am very surprised by and I'm delighted by actually. There's a lot of things in this game that I'm not that happy with, but at least the finishing I'm very happy with, at least so far. Hopefully they don't change that. When they patch Trivellas and make like all finishing worse, some bullshit, I don't trust them to do anything right. But so yeah, wanted to make this just to say to you, what should I do for the editing style for these types of videos? I want to give you guys my first little tips here. Would you rather see 3 games with a little more highlights, maybe more of like interaction, or would you rather see like 6 games, 7 games, 8 games, more goals, right? I feel like that would be more entertaining for you guys, but just let me know. If you guys have other tips as well, please let me know in the comment section. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. I love you all. Bye.